Good morning, folks. As you can tell up yonder, the sun is just cresting over the hill. I just made my way out here with something special that I'll tell you about in a minute. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to take these 2x4s that I just cut out of these red pine logs, and we are going to load them up into that something special. And what that is my old truck. This thing here is nearly 20 years old. It's a 2005 Toyota Tacoma. If you're relatively new to the channel, you may have never seen this before. This is my go-to. Not for getting around town, but for getting around the woods. However, this thing has been sitting sort of stored away for the last 6 or 8 months because last time I had it out, which was quite a while ago, I was driving on the highway and sure enough, the coolant started leaking out of the thing. And what happened was the serpentine belt shredded, and I think it shredded and pulled off one of the coolant lines. And it did all of that because the alternator seized up. So that is what needed repair. Took me a while to figure that out, and so I finally got the time to problem solve. We got that fixed up. I took the alternator out of it, which it was rusted in there solid. I took that thing out, put a new serpentine belt on it, found where the coolant hose had come off, put that back on, and greased some other things up. But this is where we're at. We've got a really good bush truck, we'll call it for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it back on the road, but for now it's going to do its job out here in the woods. So we'll load up those 2x4s in the back of it, and then we'll head back down the trail. I'm going to take it up to the shop because I am building a new slab rack. Slabs, if you're familiar with sawmills, slabs are something that are inevitable. Check out that pile I've got to deal with. Typically I'll chip those up, I'll spread the chips on the trail, or I'll cut it up for campfire wood. Well, I want to have a nice spot to pile it, to cut it for campfire wood. If you look over there, I go through that stuff quite a bit because I camp quite a bit. So I'm going to get a new slab rack build here today. My old one, if you ask, it got inadvertently broken when it was froze to the ground one day, and I came along thinking I could move it with the tractor, and the tractor moved it all right. However, the wood that was froze to the ground had other plans. There's what's left of it. So instead of rebuilding that, I'm going to try a different design here today, and I'll put a link to that video. It worked well for a long time, but you never know what you're missing until you try something new, and that's what we'll do. So 2x4s, back of the truck, up to the shop. We'll get cutting here. Besides that, glad you're all here. Here we go. Little trick, you may know about this already, but down at that far end there, just a moment ago, I put a screw on that last stud, we'll call it. And I put a screw there just to hold the piece as I'm putting it into position at this end. Otherwise, it would do one of these. The other thing we'll do, sometimes it's helpful if you have it sticking out a little bit, not quite that much, but just a little, and it'll grab onto this piece. See how I can set it down there while I come down here and position it on my mark? Well, there we have it. Slab Rack 3.0 is officially done now. This lost its luster after a little while because it wasn't exactly easy on the body, crouching over, putting all the screws in and the adhesive down low. But we got it done nonetheless. I didn't have an idea on paper. I just had an idea floating around in my head, so that took a bit of figuring. Because if you go from an idea in your head and you build it wrong, well, you'll curse yourself because you just wasted a bunch of time and a bunch of lumber. So what we came up with is 5 feet high, 20 inches between the uprights, 1 foot from here to the floor, and overall 128 inches long. Now, if we look at it from a side angle, you're going to notice there's slots here. Those slots represent where I'm going to run the chainsaw. And so I'm going to likely run the chainsaw right here, and then you skip over, and then right here, right? And you get the picture here. And so what I came up with, every place that the chainsaw is going to make a cut, I have 6 inches from this side to this side, 6 inches from this side to this side, continuing all the way along. Now, where the lumber is actually going to sit, or the slabs that'll be cut up into small pieces of lumber, they will sit right here. They will sit right here. So you'll notice there's 2 supports, right? That's going to hold on to the piece of slab after it's been cut. The chainsaw is going to be running through here, and then there's another support to hold on to the slabs. Now, the reason I did it that way, I was thinking that maybe down the road I'll have some sort of a strap system, and the strap system would allow me to go right underneath, right in this area, underneath and then up, and then you could tighten it up around a stack of those slab pieces. That was my thinking anyways. So we'll see how it works. We'll get it back outside to the sawmill here. We'll give it a good 24 hours to dry. One of the reasons I put adhesive is this thing's going to be out in the woods. It's probably going to be moved around with the tractor from time to time. And you don't want to rely strictly on the screws. The screws don't have a real high shear factor. And so I don't want them to snap. And so I put the adhesive hoping that that will allow this to last. Probably looking at it, I'll add a few additional braces to prevent it from going like this. But we'll see how that goes. Anyways, stay tuned. Oh, just one more dimension here if you're interested. From the outside here, or down here, all the way to the outside here and here, you're at 31 inches. Well, there we have it, folks. Now, this first time around, I used the loader on the tractor to load it up. But in the future, I'll be throwing the slabs directly from the log, from the sawmill, right into the rack. So I envision the slabs will sit down quite a bit nicer. By me loose dropping it in there with the forks, you'll see it's kind of mixed and matched in there, so it's not sitting down all the way. But one thing's for certain, this slab rack is strong enough. We got it out here without trouble. A little bit precarious at times with the hills, but we got it out here. We filled it up. It's certainly going to be strong enough. I think I'll just treat the wood with some sort of preservative, especially because it's going to be sitting out here in the elements. Aside from that, next time around, I will cut all these slabs up, and I think in the future, I may even consider bounding these up with some sort of strap. I've given these away from time to time, the full slabs, that is. And who knows, maybe I could sell them for a few bucks. If we have a look at this rack, I think it's going to make binding them up quite nice because I've got lots of room to get right underneath with the straps. And that'll make it nice and easy to cinch it up tight. And then I could lift the whole thing of slabs off, load it into a truck or trailer, and be on their way. So maybe that'll be for the future, but who knows? If I don't end up doing that in the interim, I'll just cut it up into firewood. And then I'll have lots of pieces that end up looking like this over in that pile, and then I'll take it out for my camping adventures this summer. Anyways, that's going to do it for me here today. If you have any questions or comments, put it down below related to my slab rack. As always, get out there, make sure you do some sawing, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you next time. And if you're interested, I'll put the original slab rack video at the end of this one. And as always, do me that big favor, give this video the old like-a-roo, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.